I'm Sagar Panchal, founder of Manzil Asset Management, and this is the Manzil Majlis. Why the Majlis, you ask? Because we didn't want to do just another property roadshow where everyone is selling something. We wanted to flip the script. Our goal was to educate first, to bring the right people into the room so we could talk about how to invest in Dubai, not just what to buy. We curated a community of developers, lawyers, bankers, and financial consultants, and also migration experts, all under one roof, so people could get real answers to their questions. We also wanted to educate our investors on Dubai's future. What is the 2030, 33, and the 2040 master plan? The response was incredible. 360 plus attendees, over 250 hours of private one-on-one strategy sessions, all invite only. But more important than the number was the shift in perception. We moved away from hard selling and created real, honest conversations. Investors trusted us because we asked the same question they had in mind and answered them clearly. This was just the beginning. The foundation stone of Manzil Majlis as an exclusive investor circle has been laid, and I couldn't be more excited about what's coming next. A big thank you to all our partners, our team, and every investor who gave us their time and trust. This is where the real conversations begin. To be honest, I'm feeling very, very happy because I'm really proud about what we are able to pull off in a matter of 1 month. So this idea came into my head about a month ago, and I'm so proud about everybody here in my team where we managed to pull this. Lot of people coming in, and to pull this off in 1 month, I feel so happy, and I'm really happy on the kind of response we have got, and I'm really excited to see how many people are really interested to know more about Dubai. So that's the whole point, right? The point was to educate and sort of build awareness about what's happening in Dubai. So I'm very happy we are able to pull it off.
If I'd be honest, I think the event started with Sagar, the founder of Manzil, actually explaining his thesis about 5 rules on how to invest in Dubai real estate. I think that was a fabulous insight, and I could totally steal it and put it on social media with due credit, and I'd want to do my study on those 5 theses, but it was a great starting point, and I personally have learned a lot at the event. Yeah, I think I'm going to research Dubai Islands and Dubai Creek Harbour, 2 places from a long-term investing in Dubai real estate perspective, and that is something I'm really taking back.
My name is Cornelia Pintilia, and I do real estate in Dubai for almost 15 years. Okay, so I was very attracted to partner with Manzil because it's a new concept that, yes, we did launch here, but we are planning to take it all over the world. So now, what is different? I've done so many road shows at my in my career, and what is different at Manzil with the concept of Manzil Majlis is that it doesn't come to sell you necessarily one-to-one meetings only. It comes and invests in educating the people and the investors who are actually planning or thinking to invest in Dubai.
The very genesis of Manzil Majlis is to differentiate us from everything else that has ever happened in terms of real estate roadshows. We are not a property sales event. We are an education and investment summit, right? So our attempt here is to be able to bring the right information to people, educate them. And why are we doing that? Because without the right information, the right strategy is not possible. So what we're looking to do is educate people, give them the options of being able to understand everything that's happening in UAE as a very, very diversified asset class market, and tell them that there is so much more to know about UAE than they probably think or than what they seem to hear from everybody around them. And more than anything else, we want to break stereotypes, we want to cut through the clutter, we want to break the hype cycle and also burst the bubbles. And this is a very, very small step towards that journey. The one key takeaway, if I would like, what I want people to take away rather is that they now know that there's so much more to this market and that they can't base their decisions off whether Dubai is, not just Dubai, whether the UAE is a good investment destination or not, based on what they hear from friends or family or from their peers. What they need to do is talk to the right partners, talk to people who have an understanding of what's happening in the market, get a deep dive into what is driving that real estate economy, and basis that they need to make a sound investment.
My name is Ashish Mehta. I am a senior lawyer. I live in Dubai for over 35 years. I think it is very personalized, very warm, and very informal. You get to meet on a one-on-one personalized basis. The environment is not very stiff, which is very good thing.
Hi, this is RJ Archana Pania Sharma. I'm here with my husband Akshay Sharma, and we're really happy to be in this gathering and this beautiful place that is actually telling us about beautiful opportunities. नहीं देखो कहावत है आपका पैसा अगर ऐसे ही पड़ा है तो वो मर रहा है सड़ रहा है पैसे को पैसा कमाना चाहिए और वो दुबई को आता है और जो लोग प्रॉपर्टीज में हैं आई थिंक दे नो बेस्ट देयर हाउ टू एंश्योर दैट योर मनी इज मेकिंग यू मोर मनी. Also, I think Dubai is such a aspirational place. Whether you're in America, Canada, USA, Australia, everybody loves Dubai. Dubai is somewhere I would think the heart of the world.
And I think what's interesting about this event is that they're not just showing you a property. I think the entire, the wholesome picture, a one-stop shop, start to finish, everything. Like Sahil was saying, you otherwise deal with multiple people. So you're getting a sense of how Dubai is growing. What is the plan for the future? What are the right pockets to invest in? Because they're not selling you a particular property. So I think that makes it very interesting because you get a very neutral, a very complete picture of how to invest in Dubai versus a particular developer doing, pitching one project to you. So I think this is far more informative and knowledgeable.
And I am so impressed with Sagar's trajectory, like from where to where to where. And I just love the wholesome way, like Akshay said, he's, trying to appeal to people that this is where you can not just make money but have a property. I mean, kitne logon ko wo chance milta hai to say we have a property in Dubai. It's a great feeling, I have family there. I was born in the Gulf, so I feel like mera desh mujhe wapas bula raha hai.
Hi, I'm Sachi Maker. I was actually moderating today's session for Manzil today. Yeah. I've not attended a lot of real estate forward events, but one thing that I really noticed was I think you gathered the right type of people. There were a mix of investors, ultra HNIs, the right type of people came together. And although the list was saying 100 people, I think a lot more people came. I think there were like 300 people. There was no space. So while I was inside as well, I was moderating. I was like, I don't think a lot of people will come out. And especially on a Saturday when it is a day for you to spend time with your family. The turnout was quite impeccable, I must say, which shows that they have a lot of trust in the brand. They believe in the offerings that they're offering. So this is something that I absolutely loved because I saw a lot of familiar faces as well, which means that you are definitely targeting the right type of people and capturing the right type of market.
Right. So I think, firstly, the whole curation of the event was done really well. And what's important is that they brought the right information for a variety of people. So right from somebody looking to invest or someone looking to shift their base to Dubai or the UAE, I think they brought a lot of information to the table and a lot of data and stats along with it. So it was not mid-air, frivolous, suggestions being made, but data-backed stats being told to all of us, and rightly positioning their entire company and building credibility for themselves here. Yeah. I think I'm going back as a more informed individual today, and I have a lot more clarity as to if tomorrow I want to make that decision to invest or reside in Dubai. What are the right stakeholders? Who are the right people to talk to, and who can I be safe with at the end of the day with my money? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Imtiaz Panjwani and based in Bombay. And I was invited by Sanjay Manchanda for this event. No, I think they've covered the whole spectrum of giving information to the Indian diaspora who wants to go and invest money in Dubai. And the good thing is that they're taking care of everything at one-stop shop. So they're taking care of your compliances, they're taking care of your monies, your structures. So that's very important. Otherwise, you'll end up dealing with a lot of people and you get lost in the journey.
I've not attended any such seminar or presentation earlier. This is the first time I'm attending a event like this. So it's quite clarifies a lot of doubts which most people have and gives you a better perspective. So that in a nutshell, this is what it is. I will definitely consider investing in Dubai, considering the lifestyle options over what I'm doing right now, what options I have right now. So it was a good learning session for me.
Hi guys, Bombay, what's happening? We are all Bombay boys and girls mostly at Manzil, so it's really good to be back. I am Rajat Kaura. I head brand and creative at Manzil Asset Management. And yeah, today is a big deal. It is absolutely awesome to have you guys here. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us. And our aim is to make it enlightening and insightful. Before we move on, I would like to play a little brand film for you to get you introduced to everything that Manzil Asset Management is and set the tone for the evening. Can we dim the lights, please?
In the beginning of time, only the wind moved across the desert. Time, like sand, slipped through fingers unseen, whispering of empires yet to rise, of destinies carved not in stone, but in vision. The desert waited, and from that stillness came the will to build. Skyscrapers didn't rise on dreams, they rose on resolve. And what followed was nothing short of.
What do you want this place to be?
I want it to be number one.
Welcome to the future, built in the present, to a skyline that rewrote the horizon. Dubai moves at the speed of tomorrow, and at its heart is the city we at Manzil Asset Management call home. From prime residential and commercial brokerage to end-to-end property management to bespoke holiday home operations under Manzil Life, we manage over 400 plus luxury assets across the globe. We offer data-driven advisory as well as golden visa navigation. We use Manzil AI to turn data into decisive action. From seamless legal and financial guidance to lifestyle-enhancing concierge services, we don't just manage your assets, we elevate your world. With a footprint across India, Dubai, Bali, and Thailand, and over a decade of expertise, Manzil is where investment meets intention, where wealth finds a home. We are Manzil Asset Management, and this is the Manzil Majlis.
Welcome to the Majlis, guys. Thank you for being here. To kick things off, I would like us to put our hands together for the man of the moment, the man who leads all of us at Manzil Asset Management, Mr. Sagar Panchal. So Sagar, for those who don't know, which I don't think there might be many here today, is the founder and CEO for Manzil Asset Management. We are a Dubai-based real estate platform. We do have operations in India and across the UAE. We manage over $500 million in assets across different verticals and asset classes. Apart from this, his journey began with a hire villa, which he will possibly tell you a little bit about, and that originated right here in Bombay. And apart from that, he has over a decade of experience in real estate, hospitality, and asset management. And yeah, he's here to tell you guys a little bit about what we are all about. Thank you.
I'm very happy to be back at the city where it all started. Firstly, I'm extremely proud of what we have managed to pull in a month's time. So this idea of Manzil Majlis came about a month ago with our team. And what we were able to do today is been done under a month. So extremely proud about what we are doing today. And thank you so much for the great response and everybody to show up here on a Saturday evening. Special thanks to our delegates from Dubai for supporting us and coming here, Sanjay sir, Rashid, and Ashish sir. So let's start by talking a little bit about me and who am I and what we do, okay? So hi, I'm Sagar. I am from Bombay, from Kandivali. This all started about 10 years ago when straight out of my college, I wanted to do something new and we started a company called as Hire Villa. So Hire Villa is a luxury villa rental company which we founded about 10 years ago when the idea of Airbnb was alien, okay? And we started this straight out of college in Lonavala, Alibag, and then finally Goa. So what we do is we have luxury villas which are under management, which we rented out to our clients. We have more than 300 villas under management today across India, Bali, and Thailand. Are mainly focused in Goa, where most of our properties are. More than 180 villas and apartments are being managed by us. So after Goa, I wanted to do something new. And in 2021, so about 4 years ago, I moved to Dubai. I actually went to Dubai for a holiday and I realized something, that there's a huge opportunity out there. How to manage a portfolio, how to get the best possible return on an asset. So we started with a company called as Manzil Live, which is our property management company. Today we have more than 250 properties under management in Dubai in a period of 4 years. Property management and rental management. We found a huge gap in the market. And the gap is investing into real estate abroad for foreign investors is very difficult because there are so many little things, there are so many questions that how will you move your source of income from India to Dubai? Okay, where will you invest? How do you structure it? And then after you buy the property, who's going to manage it for you? How do you put it out on rent? And again, managing your tenants. And most importantly, when is the right time to exit on that asset? So there are so many questions around it. And usually you have to deal with multiple people. Simply 5 investing into Dubai and managing and helping you build a property portfolio. So that's how Manzil Asset Management started. So Manzil Asset Management is a one-stop shop for an investor. We basically help you out with everything. First is how do you move funds from your source country to Dubai? How do you structure? Where to invest? Now, where to invest is a very big question. And a lot of time, energy goes into it. So today, the idea of Manzil Majlis was, Majlis as a word basically came out from Dubai. So this concept, we wanted to bring it out, do this sort of UAE Investment Summit across the world so we can educate people on what are the investment opportunities in Dubai. In next 10 years, in next decade, what is Dubai's master plan? So you guys can align with it and possibly invest in it and make advantage of it. So every investor fundamentally has 3 questions. Why to invest, where to invest, and how to invest. Start by why. Why is everybody looking at Dubai as an investment destination? So in the last 5 years, what we realized that Dubai as a market consistently is able to give 6 to 7% rental return, 10 10% capital appreciation year on year, about 3% additional income in dollar appreciation. So we are seeing a 15 to 20% CAGR being generated from a UAE investment year on year. Invest into a similar real estate and residential in India. So return on investments for a property in UAE, Dubai, and India, there's a huge gap. And because of this gap, as a team, we built an investment thesis which is aligned with Dubai's master plan. So Dubai as a government has declared 3 master plans. There's a 2030, there's a 2033 agenda, and a 2040 master plan. Dubai government is going to decide, they are going to make infrastructure investments. How are they planning to make people move to Dubai? Dubai also wants to position itself as the next academic hub. Dubai also wants to position itself as the next financial hub. How all of this is going to happen, we will learn to understand from our thesis. You really need to understand how Dubai is divided. These are the same important landmarks in Dubai which will help you understand how is Dubai. So basically that's Palm Jumeirah, Dubai Marina. The downtown is in center, which is the financial district, and then the airport is on the third side. So this is how Dubai is divided. Okay, Dubai is divided into 5 parts. This is the waterfront district. This is the core of Dubai. This is MBR city. This is the suburb, and this is Dubai South. Okay, very important. I want everybody to remember the waterfront core and this, because it's a very important point to understand where is the opportunity. So we basically have 5 investment principles which you have to keep in mind if you are looking to invest into Dubai. We like to invest towards the waterfront area and not towards the desert, because land in the desert there is too much supply available or can be built in the desert side. But towards the waterfront, the land is truly limited. Okay, the amount of supply which can be built on the core and waterfront area is truly limited. Now, to give you perspective about the opportunity in core and waterfront areas, draw an imaginary light in the center of Dubai. Only 20% of the land in the core and waterfront area is freehold. So these are the only areas where you can invest. While 80% of the area under this line is freehold, which means in future there's a chance of oversupply. But if you invest over here, supply is truly limited and the possibility of getting appreciation is a lot more. Plus, there's a huge rental demand out there. So the next investment principle is Dubai's 2040 plan. So from Dubai's 2040 plan, you guys will understand 2 things. As a government, what is Dubai planning to do to move more people to Dubai? Okay. Second point, how it's going to expand. Dubai is currently divided into 3 parts. This is the airport area. This is the financial center where there is downtown DIFC and City Walk. And this is your tourist destination where there is Palm Jumeirah and Marina. Now, beside these 3 urban districts, Dubai is planning to create 2 more urban districts where it's planning to do a lot of infrastructure investment. And because of this infrastructure investment, they are expecting 1 million population to move in the next 5 years in these 2 urban centers. So this is Dubai South, where the new airport is going to be built. And next to Dubai South, there is Dubai Expo City. So Dubai Expo City is going to be the world's biggest event space. All big events around the world will be happening over here. Okay. Besides this, there's a new urban centers being created, and it's super exciting because when they did a survey, they realized a lot of people don't want to move to Dubai. So Dubai government very smartly tackles this. They are building a new community which is called Dubai Academic City. 27 universities have already signed up, including IIT IIM, which is going to be built in the next 3 years. And about 100 universities are going to come up by 2040. So Dubai has already positioned itself to be the next academic hub. Besides this, there is one more area next to the academic city, which is Dubai's Silicon Oasis. So Dubai as a government is giving subsidized land to Fortune 500 companies to come and open their headquarters over here. A lot of working professionals are going to move to Dubai, which means there is going to be a huge rental demand and accommodation demand over here. So earlier when we spoke about how, about the core and waterfront areas only having 20% supply as freehold. There is a lot of traction which is coming in the city, which is in the core and waterfront. And all the plots are already full. So Dubai, what is doing next is slowly, it's converting land inside the city into freehold. So recently in January 2025, they declared 3 new areas as freehold. So these areas were not available for investment earlier, but in Jan 2025, Jadaf, Jumeirah Garden City and Sheikh Zayed Road is now freehold. And why is it interesting? The average price per square feet in this area is 3,500 dirham per square feet in DIFC, City Walk and downtown. Just 5 minutes from here, there are these new freehold locations where you can get a property
at a price of 1500 dirham per square feet, which means less than half. In less than half, you can get a property inside the city. Now again, this sort of information is not available, and we wanted to educate people about this. Our fourth principle is master communities will always outperform standalone projects. So these are two great examples of the master community. One is downtown Dubai, which is built by Emma, and I'm sure everybody knows Burj Khalifa Tower is in downtown. This is another master community which is built by Nakheel, which is Palm Jumeirah. Now why these master communities are interesting? So villas were launched in Palm Jumeirah at a price of 3 and 5 million. Today, the same villas are being sold at 25 to 100 million dirhams. So the investments which were made early in Palm Jumeirah, now when these guys build this master community, this existing master communities lack schools, hospitals. The future master communities which are being built by master developers like MR and Nakheel will outperform the X because they have realized that end users which are moving to Dubai, they are looking for schools, hospital, commercial offices next to their homes. The developers have taken note of this. So Dubai Creek Harbour is a great example of that. Dubai Creek Harbour is the next downtown, downtown 2.0, 3 times the size of existing downtown. Dubai Creek Harbour is a combination of downtown and marina. It has waterfront properties, but also it has a downtown experience. So why downtown Creek Harbour is super interesting? In downtown Creek Harbour, the tallest observatory tower in the world is being built right now. The biggest mall on this planet is being built here. Also, they are planning to build an air-conditioned city around it. Current price in Dubai Creek Harbour is around 2,000 dirham per square feet, which clearly shows there is delta of capital appreciation. The other community which I really love and our team really vouches for it is Dubai Island. So Dubai Island is one more master community which is currently built by Nakheel, and it's extremely interesting. So they are building a new palm which is called Dubai Island. Dubai Island is extremely interesting because Dubai Island is going to have the second biggest mall of Dubai over there. There are 80 hotels which are coming here. There is a marina coming here. So basically 50% of the island is beachfront. Palm is not beachfront, only the private villas. Villas as an asset class has been outperforming in the last 5 years. There is a solid chance of appreciation. Also, now we discussed a lot of options. So based on your budget, you can see over here, we have created 3 ways of investing into Dubai. Okay, first is build a rental portfolio for positive arbitrage. What does it mean? The advantage you have in Dubai is once you buy a property off plan, which means if you buy a property which is getting ready in the next 2 years in payment plan, you can buy a second property through bank finance at 4% interest rate. So basically means the second property can be serviced through the rental income generated. Through this, you guys can create a property portfolio out there. Investing into master communities where the supply is limited and there is a lot of demand. So guys, that's it. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and we look forward to having more conversations outside.
Very, very proudly UAE as well. We love the fact that we're able to build our grassroots as a company in the United Arab Emirates, and we're very fortunate for the UAE Embassy to be represented here. I have Mr. Ahmad Al-Janebi, Senior Economic Affairs Specialist, and he's here, and we would love to hear from him. So, welcome, sir.
All right, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Manzil Asset Management for inviting me. My name is Ahmad Al-Janebi. I'm from the Embassy of the UAE in New Delhi. So about the relationship between India and the UAE, it's been going positive. We have an aim to reach non-oil bilateral trade of $100 billion US by 2030. At the embassy, we're working hard on reaching that goal. And with events such as these, we can realize that goal sooner by helping spread awareness of the fascinating options that are there for investment in the UAE and vice versa also here in India. Very happy to be here in Mumbai once again. It's been only a few weeks since I was last year, so always happy to be back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We're going to start with a very riveting conversation in our first panel. So the reason to do these panels is, apart from the strategy that Manzil represents, there is a lot of hearsay, there's a lot of hype, which generally is driven by the likes of Meta, and there's a lot of believability in a lot of those things, which basically means it's misinformation. So one of the things that we aim to do with Majlis being an education-first summit is to bring all of those parameters to you guys, for everyone to understand why is the UAE and Dubai growing as a real estate market in the first place. And what we aim to do is, there's this connotation of the Dubai bubble, which is going to burst. We are here to assure you that it's just getting started, and that's not a worry anybody needs to have. So we're going to welcome our first panel. The first panel is essentially bursting the bubble, so to say, inside Dubai's real estate reality. So it's not about hype, it's about separating fact from fiction, like I said. And it's my honor to introduce the panel to you. On board, we have Mr. Sanjay Manchanda, who is also an advisor to the board at Manzil. Welcome, sir. So has spent decades in the UAE. He was the ex-CEO of Nakheel, and that's just one of the many things that he has done in his stellar career. He is obviously responsible for taking Nakheel out of the 2008 crash and that building it into the equity that it has in the UAE today. And it is an honor for us to have him on board. Next up is Mr. Chintan Vasani. He is founder, partner of WiseBiz Realty. He is somebody who spends time on both sides of the fence, as much in India and as well as in the UAE. And he's obviously engaging with people on both sides. So he's going to be able to bring that perspective to the table. Third is a name and face that probably doesn't need much introduction. We have C.A. Sarthak Ahuja, who is gracing us with his presence. Apart from being a content creator extraordinaire, obviously we do know that he is an erstwhile an investment banker with over a decade of experience in the startup industry. He specializes in corporate finance, valuations, transaction advisory, and shares insights. He has about 2.5 million followers, which means that what he's got to say is definitely important. So please do listen in. And last but not the least, we've got Mr. Rashid Al-Tamimi. He is Director, Investment, Sales and Partnerships at Manzil Asset Management. Rashid has also spent time with building Nakheel as a brand in the past. Sanjay and him have worked together as well. Apart from that, he is committed to contributing to Dubai's continued evolution. Of course, as being an Emirati, he has closely seen that journey of the UAE growing, so he's going to be able to bring that perspective and that narrative. And last, certainly not the least, the moderator of the panel is the wonderful lady, Sachi Maker. She's a brand and marketing strategist, 15 years of experience. She is also the founder of The Lobby, a culture-forward strategic agency that builds brands across wellness, hospitality, and luxury. And we're delighted for her to be moderating this panel. Cheers, guys. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction and welcome, everyone. I'm so thrilled and excited to be moderating this session alongside a panel that's going to have such sharp perspective on a topic that everyone is talking about. So everyone is saying is that Dubai's real estate market is in a bubble, and apparently a crash is around the corner, which actually leads into my first question of our exciting session today. Good evening, Mr. Sanjay.
Good evening.
My question to you is that you took over Nakheel right after the 2008 global financial crisis, a time where Dubai's real estate market was hit really hard. From your experience, what are the biggest differences between that crash and what we're seeing in the market right now?
That's too much in the past. 2008, we are now in 2025, so almost 2 decades. And I think those of you who were here when Sagar was presenting his investment thesis, there were clear highlights of what lessons have been learned and how the government at the highest level has gone about structuring the real estate as a major sector. Initially, when the real estate was liberalized in the UAE, it was, if I would say, use the word gold rush. A lot of people came in, poured in a lot of money. They were chasing some quick profits. Unfortunately, the city being a very, very progressive and part of the global ecosystem got caught in the crossfire of what happened with Lehman Brothers, and out came the investors who just ran for cover. That's a thing of the past. We, or rather I would say the government, sat down, consulted everyone, and came up with a very concrete position as to how we address and how do we progress from here. First, a lot of new regulations were brought in to make sure both the developers and the investors are protected. Then came out those strategic plans, which we got a glimpse of, the 2030, the 2033, and 2040. You also saw that how progressively Dubai has tackled each and every aspect of how a young city can develop. I just give you one small perspective, which will tell you that the myth of bubble is just a myth, because that's something which has got stuck, unfortunately. It's a thing of the past. When Dubai started its real estate journey, it was one of the youngest country developing high-rise buildings and structures. New York was considered to be the leading place where all the high-rise buildings are. Please go and check. You guys have all your smartphones in your hands. Google it, and today you will find Dubai has surpassed New York City as the city which has got the highest number of skyscrapers. Now that one statistics clearly demonstrates that a lot of people believe in the story of Dubai. A lot of people have invested, and if we see how the government has gone about very strategically, very considerably enhancing their value proposition, number of HNIWs which are moving not only just from the India, but from globally, are highest in the world. That it just tells you that this is on a very, very solid footing. So those who are still stuck in the past may continue to sound as a broken record, as I say, but Dubai's story is real and it's here to stay.
I completely agree with that. Also, I feel there are a lot of end users rather than just speculators as well in the market at this point in time.
Exactly. When 2008, the population of Dubai was about 6 million, 5 million. Today it's 11 million. It's a normal progression. More people, you need more real estate. Housing, schools, hospitals, institutions, warehouses. Because real estate is not just residences, guys. Real estate is a spectrum of asset class. You need schools, you need hospitals, you need establishments, and a lot more is going on to build a nation. And I think that's something which is, I would say, real estate is a very integral part of the UAE nation building.
Chintan, from your lens as someone who is bridging Indian investors with Dubai, what are you seeing from your personal lens at this point in time?
Right. Thank you for the question. First of all, let's give a round of applause to Sagar, because I remember when they were discussing this particular meeting, he was like, will we be able to get 200 good people? मैं बोला पक्का, मतलब it will be you'll have a, वहाँ पे लोगों को रोकना पड़ेगा, and that Manzil team has done it. So Sagar, first of all, congratulations for that. And we also have to say, Dubai का fever actually पूरे India में भी वैसा है. From my lens, if I tell you, if we sell anywhere from 900 to 1,000 inventories every year in India, 2 years back, whenever people who used to not buy inventory from us would always say we were contemplating buying your inventory or your competitors' inventory in the same market. But today there are a lot of real estate developers sitting here. Say in India, 80% are genuine buyers, 20% are investors who buy it for investment. Out of the 20%, now they are also contemplating buying an inventory in, say, a market of Bandra, or they are comparing it with some property at Maidan, they are comparing with some property at, Maritime, some new launches. So Dubai has become a competitor for everyone. Secondly, last year there was a report by, I think, Henley Partners, if I'm not wrong. Out of the inventory which is sold in Dubai, 50% are bought by Indians. And those Indians, 70% are from Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. So, this rush is actually a very big time. I got a chance to be in Dubai for almost 40 days in this particular year. Got a chance to meet a lot of people. I also got a chance to chill at Manzil for an entire day to understand the market. This time, it's very different. People, they just don't want to get the money out of the country and stay and bring it back. they actually are planning to keep all that money and grow. Like I spoke to Sagar, okay, how do people come to? They're like, they don't come for one or two apartments. They come to make a portfolio out of it. So that is how things are happening. Thirdly, I see a lot of real estate developers today in the crowd. Today, being a real estate developer, it takes me anywhere from 1.5 to 2 years to get any of my permissions and start my project. If I want to do anything in Dubai, it's 3 months, which is like the shortest period. And if we have a good team and we are able to sell, selling is also faster. So the entire ecosystem is much faster in that particular market. And the population is going to go double by what, 2030. That is what the numbers are planning. They are planning it right way. So anyways, because of the population going up, this is going to be here. And I think he said this is just the start. It's not a bubble. So really excited to know about this journey. Thank you.
And what about, the investors' mood right now? Are they making a move? What is their, thought process at this point in time?
See, a few months back, Indian investors want to know everything and then take a calculated advice and take the decision. But one thing in Dubai, what happens is, if you go today, and if you are not able to take the decision in 2, 3, 4 days, no one blocks that inventory for you. So people have understood, even there are a lot of markets in Noida, in Mumbai, if you need a good inventory, you need to make decision right away. In Dubai, what I have seen, I have a lot of friends, they have checks ready of their clients. Okay, we have to take it, you take the final decision. So, people who are taking a lot of time to decide, they are actually losing, or they don't get that good inventory in the very start.
Understood.
Yeah.
Sarthak, the next question is for you. Amongst the young HNIs and the investors that you speak to and meet, what are they actually thinking about Dubai right now? Do you think they think it's out of reach? What's going on in their mind?
Yeah, so I think I'm a very safe guy when it comes to investments. I primarily put my money into two asset classes. One is Nifty ETF. I don't even pick stocks in India. The second is real estate. Now, when I think of real estate, I personally feel that a lot of people in India, when they invest in India, they think of investing in an area which is close to where they are. So you would notice a lot of people around NCR would invest in a Noida or a Gurgaon because that's what they understand. My family's learning has been, I've grown up in NCR, and my parents invested somewhere close to Bombay, and that's the only loss that they made in a real estate asset because it was a little too far off. However, for diversification, you need to diversify, and I think when people are investing today far off from where they stay, Dubai seems to be a place which is still in India and which seems to be growing. And I have no incentive to sell Dubai to anyone since I'm not a broker, I'm not a developer. I think my reason that I can speak about, which a lot of my friends also believe in, is when you look at finance, it's essentially 4 levers that you work on. One is your income, second is the cost of living, the third is your savings, and fourth is your investment. Now, across all those levers, I feel the biggest impact actually comes from increasing your income. And if you look at Henley & Partners data of the last year, the biggest inflow of millionaires around the world has been in the UAE. The biggest outflow has been from UK and a lot of European countries. Then comes India, then comes China. A lot of my friends in the US also are now thinking of moving to Dubai. I mean, the infrastructure is better, things are better. So I think the first thing is, when you have so many millionaires coming into a city, it just creates the right ecosystem for you to be able to earn a lot more money. So I feel purely from a geographic perspective, it gives at least me and my friends the opportunity to earn a lot more and be in the right ecosystem. From a costing perspective, I would compare it to the cost of living in, say, like a Singapore or a London or a New York, and I feel the cost is lower. From a savings perspective, I look at tax savings, where you end up saving, even if I wouldn't say, okay, 30%, you compare it to, say, rental taxes in India, it's at 21% or more. And from an investment perspective, while even if I absolutely ignore capital appreciation because I'm like a land investment guy more than an apartment investment guy,
I think just rental yields are close to about 6 to 8%, which if you look at compared to say pre-tax returns in India comes to about 9-10%. I think just from that perspective, for me, it feels safe. I've set up a company in the UAE, and I've done it purely for the purpose that all my international income can come into the UAE very legally under the realm of the law, and I can save close to 30-40% tax on it, and then if I can invest it somewhere where it creates about 10% pre-tax compared to India and gives me the lifestyle benefits, I mean, why not? So purely from that, it's lifestyle plus diversification, and there's no forex fluctuation because 3% return linked to dollar appreciation compared to the rupee, I think is something you get in Dubai very easily.
Just a quick follow-up question. So the aspirational lifestyle that people are also aspiring to have in Dubai, you also think that plays a very important role while taking a decision for buying a property or investing your life there?
Yeah, I mean, I come from Gurgaon and I absolutely love the place. It's given my family whatever they have today. But I mean, there's only so much I can do about the pollution and the fact that a couple of weeks ago, the city got flooded so much that I mean, my entire basement, which had my studio, got absolutely flooded, and it took us 2 weeks to just drain out the water and dry it all up. And I know these are issues that happen in the best of places. But when I think of where do I want hassle-free work, where I want great infra, I think Dubai does it for me. So, you know, now, luckily for the generation that we're talking about, our previous generation has kind of provided for your primary residence to a degree, that now we think if we need to put in money, lifestyle is a big part of it. I mean, there's a reason all of us are sitting at the Bay Club and not at any other part of Bombay, because you just relate to it and it's amazing, right?
If I may add over here, I think a lot of people also put a big price on safety and security. 100%. There is something which comes into everybody's decision making. Your family, your children, and especially the female folks. There is no fear. You can go walk on the street at 3 a.m. in the morning and you'll be absolutely safe. There is no question of anybody just barging in or trying to rob you on a high street or do something with which you are completely shaken up. So that is something which is unparalleled. Guys, there is no price for it. What are we talking about? Health is wealth, whatever you may want to say. Your safety and security is paramount. And that is what Dubai is offering. Complete, safe and secure place.
Thank you for bringing that up. I have a personal story here, and which is, I think last year I was there right on the eve of when the corporate taxes had to come into Dubai. And I remember on my way to the airport, when I finished the day and I was heading to the hotel, and I happened to forget my AirPods somewhere in the car. And I happened to realize while getting to the hotel somewhere close to midnight, and the cab driver could see it. He's like, are you looking for something? And I said, yeah, I think I've misplaced my AirPods. He's like, just open up your phone, it's an iPhone, you'll be able to see it. We saw that it was somewhere maybe 7-8 kilometers away. He drove me to that point. We kept looking for my AirPods because it was that blip on my phone at 1 a.m. in the night for an hour. We couldn't find it, and we realized maybe it was in one of the towers, and maybe a car I'd taken during the day, I'd left it there, and I realized it late in the night. And then that guy refused to take money from me. It was a Pakistani brother, and he said, no, I can't take money. You've made a loss today. You've lost these AirPods. And I said, no, you have to take money. But he just absolutely refused to take it. And I remember 6 months later, I visited my friend Prateek, who's sitting here, to Dubai again. And we were sitting at his office, and you know, he just came, you know, there was someone who dropped this for you, and he brought my AirPods. And I was like, how did you get this? And he's like, there was a taxi driver who went around thinking of every person he dropped off that day, saying someone had lost their AirPods and left them in my car. And he found me, and I remember you said you had lost your AirPods, and I said, yes, this is my friend's. And out of both those people, can you imagine, it's my friend from India who forgot to tell me for 6 months, and it wasn't the taxi driver. And I was amazed. I mean, I could not have imagined this. Apart from that, I've lost 3 other pairs of AirPods, all in India, and I've not gotten them till date.
We have a reel which will go 1 million now. इसका एक बनाते अपन.
I want to see that reel up tomorrow. But Mr. Rashid, you're from Dubai. And there is this idea that Dubai's growth mainly comes from countries of Russia and China. What do you think of that?
First of all, I would like just to thank every single Indian person over here. Thank you for the hospitality, that it is really amazing. Coming to the question, once we are in Europe, we hear the different story. Why always the money comes from India?
Oh.
Okay. Apparently, this is a totally misconception. I would believe that always Dubai it will be kept a very transparent international market for everyone. It is been there from 2002, from the day one, which started the freehold, and it will be kept in this way. Could be on the past few years, Russian mostly they were into ultra luxury market, especially let's say in Palm Jumeirah or Dubai Marina or even the Blue Waters. But obviously, still Indian investors, they are always in our top 3 list every single year. Eventually, only on 2024, only the UK got it on the first. But Indian are always been there for decades. They believe on whatever Dubai leadership since the day one, even before the union. They believed what is the vision, what is happening, and it is not. I always say it. Dubai and the whole country, UAE and India, it is not anymore as an investment only. We are more into blood relations. We are more into friendship, partnerships, many things. It just combine the 2 countries together.
Right, and would you say that Dubai is not dependent on any country? It would just be a space for an international...
100%. Dubai wants to stand for one or 2 countries, just they're waiting for their investments to be over
Right.
there. Yes.
Got it. Mr. Sanjay, how do you see today's market in terms of maturity? Are new asset types like retail, hospitality, leasing helping the market become more balanced and resilient?
Absolutely. I think, as I mentioned earlier, that there is a strategic plan for the city. Within that plan, it has been clearly announced that we want a 20-minute community, which is basically saying that we want a community feeling where you have your schools, your hospitals, your retail, whatever is required to build a community within an easy walkable reach. That's not just because there is no space, because I think everybody understands that if we want to improve and contribute to environment friendly and climate situations which we are facing today in our world, then everybody has a role to play. So when you see these initiatives which are going to happen, and if you look up the recent announcements which have been made by the government of Dubai in putting in a lot of effort and money in developing and improving infrastructure, then becomes very, very clear that there is room for every asset class. And as I said, initially real estate was being associated with residences. It's no longer residences. If you have 11 million people in the UAE, I'm sure there are an increased number of children who need to go to schools. So there are a number of new schools which are coming up. We also have seen, thanks to the hostile sort of attitude of the US, a lot of the educational institutions have now started to say, okay, where do we go and target our international students? And Dubai, again, is in the top of their list. We have IIT Delhi, IIT Ahmedabad already opened up campuses in Dubai. We also know, I am also aware of the fact that there is IIT Kharagpur, which is looking to come in. And I think with passage of time, we will see more financial and, should we say, educational institutions coming in. So rather than you sending your wards to the US or the UK, you probably will be sending them to Dubai, and Dubai will make it absolutely clear to everyone that we are open for business and we will take care of each and every sector in which we have put our emphasis. So there is a new sort of zone which has been earmarked, which they call as the innovation zone, which is a combination of bringing big tech, technology, and educational institutions to Dubai. And again, it's just not a fashionable statement to make, but there is a clear thought process behind it. And more and more real estate will come in various, should we say, asset class, which will be required to service the community and conceptualize in the plan which the government is implementing.
Right. And when we speak about, since you're speaking about educational systems that are being set up right now, how would you compare it to global standards at this point in time?
Dubai is a global city. It attracts all people from all over the world. Dubai is known for best practices. If you care to, again, use your handheld devices and Google on any spectrum, safety, security, highest number of passengers using the Dubai airport, most known for its safety, security, all of these, Dubai is in the top 10. Now, if they're going to bring in education institutions, these are not the education institutions which Dubai is making or bringing. These are well established, the Harvards and the MITs of this world who will be opening their campuses. So there's an already established, it just allows people, it's within easy reach. And in very colloquial, very jovial manner, we just say that Dubai is a cleaner Mumbai.
It is a cleaner Mumbai, I must say that. And I actually visited Dubai after 10 years in January, and I was so shocked at myself in terms of the infrastructure, the roads. It was impeccable, I must say. So they're doing a fantastic job. For a person who's visiting after such a long time, the growth that I saw, it was one of a kind. So I think even with educational systems, I'm sure they'll surpass that as well. Mr. Rashid, from your 2 decades of experience, what steps has Dubai taken to protect its real estate market from global shocks and economic crisis?
Okay. See, I would like to just say one constant thing that helped always Dubai, and it will always help it. The leadership inside Dubai, the visionary of the leadership of under the Sheikh Mohammed Barashid Al Maktoum, his visionary to Dubai, always keeping it always on the safe side. Yeah. So even through the pandemics, either it was in 2008, the crisis, or even after the COVID, I believe Dubai always didn't come and fix small issues and say, that's it, we already fixed it out. No. Dubai comes out, they reinvent it. They come always and try to reinvent, try the new things. Yeah? Obviously, everybody, we all do mistakes end of the day. Yeah? But whatever is happening, whatever leadership, whatever the visionary that we are having over there, it's really helping the market. We always been there. We saw many things. Even Dubai Islands that we are seeing it today, it was a Pandera. It was Pandera. It was called Pandera. It reshaped, totally reshaped into Dubai Islands today.
I think the leadership over there is very transparent. The moment they realize that there is something which needs to be addressed, they are immediately on that particular aspect and assure and make sure that things can be addressed. So I'll give you one simple example. In 2008, when a lot of the investors community got the investments and had a bad experience, we knew exactly what was wrong. And today, the entire real estate regulation has been revamped to ensure that the investor's interest is protected as a priority. So that is the sort of act which is happening. You come to technology, they are adopting the prioritized technology, whether it is AI, whether it is ease of doing business, anything. Just with one app, you can avail all the government services without even visiting their offices. There's a clear intent that we are here to govern, and we will not leave any stone unturned to make life for our people, whether they are the local UAE nationals or the residents of Dubai, who can live their life comfortably with ease. That's the resolve of the leadership.
Thank you for that. Sarthak, when comparing Dubai to gold, startups, or digital assets, what stands out from a portfolio balancing and wealth compounding perspective?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I personally just invest my money in real estate and nifty ETFs. Dubai as a place which gives me that diversification. It helps me invest in real estate infrastructure, which could be better than what is available to me in India. It helps me hedge it against forex fluctuation, links the return to the dollar, which is another big plus. And the third thing is there is utilization of that asset. I mean, I can use it for my personal benefit, right? And that in itself is enough return. I'm someone who's very happy with a 10-12% return per annum because I personally feel it's the time invested much more than us optimizing for am I getting a 14% or a 16% over a 5-year period. So, which is why, you know, as this panel started about, is the bubble bursting? I think if you look at real estate transactions, even in India for the past 2 quarters, you would see it's kind of plateaued. So even in markets of Gurgaon, in markets of Bangalore and Hyderabad, over the past 6 months, you would not have seen a lot of appreciation in land. And that's just part of how market cycles work across asset classes. And if something similar also does happen in Dubai, for say, if it does happen for the next 2 years, I'd say that's great because it just restores faith in the fact that financial markets work in cycles. So I would say anyone who's thinking of investing in Dubai, as long as you have a 5 to 8 year horizon or more, there is no reason for you to not put in money.
Before we wrap up, I have one last question for all of you. We'll start with Mr. Sanjay.
Sure.
In one sentence, what's one myth about Dubai's real estate people need to leave behind?
Dubai's real estate is as real as it can get.
That's a 10 on 10, I would say. Chintan?
It's not a bubble. It's your future for your family.
Yeah, for me, a lot of people tend to think that for you to save taxes, it's a little shady. You don't have to tell the government, but I just like to tell people that you can be a resident of India and your company can be a resident of the UAE and you can very safely disclose it to the Indian income tax authorities and have a transfer pricing agreement and do all of this legally. So the myth I want to bust is the fact that people would think, oh, there's, tax not paid on money which is going to Dubai, and I think that's not really true.
We have one more 1 million reel again.
Well, thank you so much, and let's give a round of applause to all the panelists. for sharing such sharp insights on bursting the myth of the bubble that we speak of. Now, I would like to open the floor to the audience to ask questions to the panelists.
Thank you so much for the wonderful talk. I am from IIT Gandhinagar and I used to live in the US for the last 6 years. I moved back last year and started my own company in real estate tech. I have a question for Mr. Chintan in particular. When you talk about like good inventory, especially for people in India wanting to invest, if you can define that a little bit, is it that people are mainly looking in terms of financial terms, or is it also like an emotional aspect that we talk about in real estate, where people are also wanting to see if it's like a good locality for families and point of view?
Right. So there are usually trophy properties. That's what people say, you know, like one particular area has limited inventory availability. If you were there during when Sagar was presenting, he spoke about some particular area where development can only happen for so and so units. So, you know, if you are able to get an inventory which has a better view, which has a more, like, you know, Vastu also has always been, like, you know, a lot of Indian investors who are investing, they go for good Vastu inventories. And I think you guys can, like, you know, Nakil sir can say, like, you know, that has been happening with everyone. So selecting the inventory plays a very big role. And that, if you want rental incomes on that, is also better when, and a lot of people are right now opting for pre-lease properties. Like, you know, they want to invest a property which is already leased. So selecting an inventory where you don't need a lot of headache after buying it, that is what I was trying to tell you.
I just have one small observation over here. It's very difficult to make all properties Vastu compliant. So guys, bring your Vastu consultants, he will fix it for you.
We have someone.
Thank you.
Any more questions, guys? Anybody?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Akshay. Thank you for the wonderful information you've shared. This question is to anybody on the panel who wants to answer it. It's open. We've spoken about investment in Dubai. We've seen, obviously, this evening, a lot of opportunities, which Sagar also mentioned. We're looking at investment in isolation, saying, what's the kind of ROI you can get? We've spoken about the future of Dubai, you know, how it's a great market and more people coming in, employment, education, etc. But if you can just for a moment, from a perspective of somebody who would like to consider moving to Dubai, who's currently, let's say, a resident of India, Bombay, Delhi, any city for that matter. If you look at this, if you just combine these two things and say, okay, is it worthwhile to, instead of buying your next property somewhere, let's say in Bombay, to consider moving base to Dubai to literally live there yourself and not necessarily as an investment, when now the capital appreciation is not really a factor. So given the cost of living, you know, an average Indian household income, you know, children, education, etc. Can anybody here put that into perspective and then how this makes sense? Sarthak, thank you.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I live in India, and the only reason I live in India is because I stay with my parents and I want to spend time with them. And my parents have their business and their entire ecosystem in India, and it's a little difficult to expect them to kind of move and build their entire network post the age of 65. Even they do have 4 or 5 close friends who live in Dubai. But had that not been the constraint, I would move tomorrow.
So let me tell you something. I have been in Dubai for last 4 decades. I started my corporate career in Dubai. I've ended the corporate career and I'm still continuing to living in Dubai. To answer your very particular perspective of can you move in and live there and not think about as real estate as an investment criteria, but it's something which you want to really be a part of the city and all of that. If you have the confidence to sustain whatever I would say is the basic minimum of Dubai, then you will find it very, very easy and convenient, because a lot of the things which you probably are struggling in India are non-existing. Nobody's coming and having you or you having to go and try and fix things for you. There are certain things which are absolutely given. You can live your life hassle-free. But yes, of course, there is an economic value which you obviously have to assess. So very easy. I'm a living example. I could have come back but I chose to stay in Dubai because it is just so comfortable living over there. And I'm the only son of my parents.
About this topic only, I wanted to find out what are the policies for senior citizens? Like, for example, you said you are the only son of your parents. If your parents also want to move to Dubai, what happens? Are they allowed?
Yes, they are allowed. Dubai has got very family-oriented, I would say, disposition. My parents, unfortunately, are no longer living. Both of them passed away. But I know a lot of my friends have, and one of the panelists over here has his two parents whom he is having with them and taking care of them. It's very, very, I would say, family friendly. And Dubai's rules and regulations allow you to live comfortably. So your parents can be brought in. They will facilitate all what you need, visas or anything. And world-class healthcare system is there.
Is this only for those people who have a golden visa or even for the regular residents?
There is a new category of visa which has been existence, which is called the retirement visa. You could even avail those avenues. But I know of cases where individually people have gone to the Ministry of Immigration, explained them the situation, and they have helped them to bring their parents into the country. So as a common sort of topic, you may be hearing, oh, it's not possible and all. But if you make a real attempt, Dubai will not disappoint you.
That sounds good. Thank you very much.
Any more questions, guys? All right. Amazing, guys. Let's hear it for Sachi and the gentleman, please. Thank you, guys. You've been awesome. Sarthak, if you could please just continue to stay on the dais. So the first panel, obviously, the attempt was to bust a couple of myths and burst the idea of the bubble being burst, so to say. But moving your money to Dubai is a lot more than just myth or bubbles. And what the second panel aims to do is basically deep dive a little bit into the legalities and the framework, because those things matter as much when people are looking to move either assets or buying into assets. And to address the same, I would like to start inviting the panelists. First in line is Mr. Prateek Tosniwal, International Tax and Structuring Advisor. He is a trusted advisor to over 100 plus family offices, amongst many other things, UHNIs, global startups, specializing in tax structuring, financial advisory, and long-term wealth. Also, just a note, guys, when you do leave the room, we do have 3 other rooms at the other end of the auditorium. We've got the Manzil Asset Management Advisory team, if anybody wants to have a one-on-one session. We've got Prateek and his team available to you to answer and deep dive into questions around LRS, AML, and all those amazingly complex things which I don't understand. We've also got, for the developers who are in the room, we have a developer masterclass room. So if you have any questions related to what can developers do and how do you go about it, you will find the team that will answer your questions. Second, of course, Mr. Sarthak Ahuja, he continues to stay on the dais and give us the perspective. Can I please call Mr. Ashish Mehta to stage? He is founder, Ashish Mehta and Associates. He is the founding and managing partner of AMA, a law firm operating across the UAE, India, the UK, and Singapore. He is also the first independent Indian lawyer licensed in Dubai, and his firm advises on real estate, corporate transactions, banking, M&A, arbitration, offshore wealth structures. So, and last but not the least, our very own from Manzil Asset Management is Mrs. Cornelia Pintel. Could you please have you on the stage? She is the Chief of Sales, and she is the taskmaster for everybody on the floor, and a big reason why we are all here in Bombay today. So thank you for pushing us, Cornelia. She is a Dubai-based luxury real estate advisor, and she has been in the real estate market for a very, very long time and been very successful and worked very closely with some of the leading developers in the region. And I'm sure she'll be able to bring a very, very unique perspective to why the money is moving, right? in terms of moving, I will move. I will moderate this panel. So, Prateek, first question's for you, sir. So, as someone who's obviously helped a whole lot of people, manage their assets, manage their funds, especially structuring the cross-border wealth aspect, what are the real advantages from your point of view that Dubai offers from a tax and succession planning lens?
So, if I have to talk about last 4 decades, Singapore, Mauritius, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg were the areas lot of wealthy families used to structure their wealth and plan their taxes. However, UAE did a phenomenal job when it came to introducing VAT, corporate tax, as well as making sure that they get best of throughout the globe in one country, which is so well geographically located that within 6 to 8 hours of your journey time, you reach 2/3 of the world. It made sure that your wealth is protected with structures like foundations and trusts that came in. And over last 3 to 4 years, more than 1,700 foundations have been formed in UAE, which takes care of wealth. Second, that is succession. We call it as death. And, zindagi ke saath bhi aur zindagi ke baad bhi. And then taxes. A lot of people who are setting up structures in UAE, the only reason is to make sure that all your birds are killed. And that is why UAE holds the key for the next 4 decades. And, I always talk about how UK, Singapore transformed. And I think it's time that UAE will transform itself as the global leader, where money will move, people will move, and a lot of, taxes is one of the reasons why people are moving here.
Thank you for that. Mr. Ashish Mehta, next question's for you, sir. So you've obviously practiced law across various geographies. What are the actual legal protections and ownership rights which foreign investors can rely on in the UAE? We do know that there is an existing, myth, for the lack of anything else, that foreign money or foreign investment might not exactly be regulated or protected. If you could shed some light on that.
Good evening. As you rightly said, it's a myth, right? Well, let me start with that. Investment, whether in real estate, business, properties, or whatever, it's very well protected because there is a series of laws which protect. Now, let me give an example. You want to migrate or you live in Dubai, you've invested in business, whether you own shares, whether you own shares in your own company, you own shares in a listed company, you own property. This is all very well protected, particularly now. Earlier also it was protected. Dubai has got, and even Abu Dhabi, all over UAE, you have industry-specific free zones. Free zones ownership was always 100% for foreigners. Mainland, there was a law which has been amended many years ago, which mainland companies also in the UAE allow 100% ownership to foreign individuals. You remain protected when you 100% own your own company. You feel that you feel secured, you feel nice about it, and you get encouraged to invest more. This is about your investment. How does your next line of succession feels comfortable that the investment is protected? I give you, many years ago, there was no DIFC, there was no ADGM. You could only make wills attested by Dubai courts, right? And the government realized that there is a gap there, because for non-Muslims, they have to have a will. If they don't, there were perhaps some isolated incidents some decades ago that there was some application of Sharia. But let me clear that myth as well. Sharia law is only applicable, and I say only applicable to Muslim personal matters. A lot of people ask me here, this evening also some have asked that, what about inheritance? Sharia does not apply for non-Muslims. So DIFC, the government did realize that there is a need for having wills for non-Muslims. DIFC as a free zone was set up. DIFC started offering that service. ADGM offers that. ADGM is Abu Dhabi Global Markets. Now, as you would all know, UAE has 2 systems of law, which is a civil law and common law. Common law is similar to India, UK, Australia, and all of that. UAE also has 2 systems. The mainland courts are are civil law jurisdictions, and DIFC, ADGM are common law jurisdictions, which are very transparent. If you look at it, if you make a will, and if you want to go further, that if a person is deceased, the deceased person has made a will, the probate process in DIFC or ADGM is so transparent, and it's conducted in English language. So your family can monitor the progress of the probate online themselves. They don't need to rely on a lawyer or a Dubai mainland court where proceedings are conducted in Arabic language only. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that elaborate response. Over to you, Sarthak. So obviously you've already delved a little bit on the granularity or certain data points. But going back to you obviously being a social personality and living that side of the business as well, and in your interactions, right? Because building community is a big aspect of what you do through your knowledge sharing. So what are your followers asking you, right? When it comes to things like the golden visa, when it comes to how are they assessing that real value in terms of being able to put their money out there?
I think Dubai, firstly, I mean, currently, if you look at the corporate taxes too, I believe there are two conditions, and I loosely translate it to rupees, which is that the 9% corporate tax applies above your annual profits upwards of 90 lakh rupees and annual revenues upwards of roughly 7 crore rupees. Now, there is an and condition, right? Which means if you're a service provider or if you're a creator, you're in the media business or any services whatsoever, roughly 80% of your revenue is actually profit. And even if you were to do about 3-4 crores of annual revenue, 5 crores of annual revenue, you're definitely breaching the 90 lakh profit margin threshold. However, because you're not breaching the 7 crore profit margin threshold, for the first 3 years, there is no tax. So I think just to be able to save close to 40% tax on that is a massive plus. On top of it, there are 50 odd free zones in the UAE currently, and all of them kind of keep competing with each other to give the best possible benefits to attract people. And right now, I believe it's the Sharjah Media City which says, if you're a creator, come and set it up in almost as little as 1.5 lakh rupees. And I would say even if it costs you just about 7-8 lakhs annually to maintain your entity in the UAE, you practically break even at about 25 lakhs of revenue in the UAE, because it would be equivalent to the kind of tax you would pay in India. And I think if you're a service provider who are practically in that range, it just financially makes sense to set up an entity there, right? And then when you start parking a lot of money, you have your international billables there, you're collaborating with international brands, you just end up collecting a corpus there, which you can then invest in Dubai or in US-based assets.
Noted. Like the Nifty, you said?
Yeah, I mean, the S&P 500.
Noted, sir. But yeah, no, from an outside perspective, as somebody who's spent the last decade living in UAE, obviously I've spent a lot of my time on the marketing side of things, but when it comes to the content and creator economy, when Dubai identifies a lacuna and then finds a solution, I think what is awesome is that they build an ecosystem around it. And it's never just that opportunity, right?
I have something to add. You mentioned the golden visa, right? Like, I think it's so amazing how UAE has this ability where you don't just get the golden visa for investing in real estate, where you have the opportunity, as long as you are a professional who adds value in your domain and your industry, as an accountant, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a surgeon, as a dancer, or a content creator, there is a possibility that the government would just say, we like your talent, and just to be able to honor your talent, we want to give you a golden visa. And we've seen cases around us, and I think that's amazing. And that's one way that a country actually is proactive in building the right kind of talent and making it easy for them to collect in one place. Because what is a country really but not just a collection of talent? And the fact that UAE is doing it is amazing, and kudos to them.
Yeah. Well said, man. Over to you, Cornelia. So keeping in line with bursting bubbles and myths, right? One of the things that's also heard a lot is that there is a lot of oversupply, which is expected, right? With everything that's being available for being delivered in the coming future. So from your lens, having walked clients through all of this, is this a question you face? And then what is the reality behind that oversupply question?
Okay, it's a very interesting question, and yes, of course, I am aware of the talks in the market about the oversupply that it's about to come in 2026. Now, the number to be handed over in 2026, it's about 206,000 units. Point number one, we need to consider the fact that not all these units are going to be handed over in the same month, in the same day, and so forth. Sometimes there is municipality delay, 2 months, 3 months. So it's going to be delivered throughout the year, 1 year and a half. That's point number one. Point number two, let's talk reality today. If now I'm handing over a tower of 100, 200, 300 units, or a community of 300 units, logically speaking, it cannot be absorbed in 1 day, right? So I will not find 300 tenants or 300 buyers in 1 day. Of course, it will take 1 month, 1 month and a half, sometimes 3 months if it's a larger project to be absorbed by the market. That's another point. And I would like to say that, yes, there are areas which are getting a little bit more stock now handed over, but that's locally. It's about a certain area or a certain project or a certain direction of Dubai. It's not all Dubai we have oversupply, and it's going to be again limited like 1 to 3 months until the market is going to absorb it. Now, last point I want to make here, as of today, the data shows, it's a transparent data, any of you can check it, we are having around 1,100 new residents every single day in Dubai. We are talking about residents, we are not talking about tourists here. So those people, yes, some of them are workers, let's take 20, 30%, but the other ones, they have to live somewhere. They have to rent a property or eventually buy a property. So I believe it's a myth. I live in Dubai for almost 15 years, and until today I don't see an empty building or half of the building empty and so forth. So I think it's a myth. I am very convinced that the absorption of properties that before used to take maybe 3-4 months, now it can happen in 1 month and a half. 80% of the building can be fully rented and operational.
Thank you, Cornelia. Ashish sir, just coming back to you. So taking off on the transparency aspect that Cornelia mentioned, how does Dubai's regulatory maturity compare to what's happening globally, and how is that enabling and driving investments in the country?
See, there are many factors which would drive an investment. Of course, let's start with the visionary leadership of Dubai. See, when Dubai had just started the freehold concept, they had no past record. And it was the confidence that the people had in the leadership of Dubai, the current ruler, when he said, I am going to make the tallest tower and I am going to give you an apartment of that floor. It was all off plan, all on paper. But people had confidence in his vision because they know that he will deliver. So that's one very big, confidence that passes on to you. And obviously, starting from there, you would always have that, the leadership is the primary source. It all starts from there, and then it's a rollover effect. So it started from there, then they started delivering, people got more confidence, and then lifestyle issues. It started off as a trading hub, historically, right? Then they started off, people starting to go for employment, business, education now, healthcare, tourism, and lifestyle is the latest one. You have a lot of population which has moved from India and globally. Very recently, it was announced that Dubai adds 1 new millionaire every 1 hour. So you can imagine, it's not only from India, it's from all over. All the world over millionaires can't be misjudging Dubai. We all can't be incorrect, right? So I rest my case there that they all have a past record now, and now whatever they have done, it speaks for itself.
Noted, sir. Thank you. So on the global front, Sarthak, just coming back to you, on the global interest rates, is that something that worries your audience? Is it something that worries you? Any reframing that's needed in terms of Dubai having an advantage on this high interest cycle versus the rest of the world?
No, I think over the next decade or so, and this is probably going to be a pattern, we'll see interest rates in different countries continuously going down. Even if you just compare it to, for example, India at the moment, interest rates have been brought down because we're seeing a dip in consumption in Tier 3 India. And a lot of FMCG companies, they're seeing a dip in sales because they felt that the inflation over the past 4 or 5 years has been so high that now is the time to actually put more money easily in the hands of people. And what you'll always notice when interest rates drop is that governments actually bring down interest rates from the perspective of putting more money in the hands of, the masses, but it actually ends up putting a lot more money in the hands of people who already have the money, because they are the people that banks actually lend to. And then when it's easier for you to borrow at a lower rate, where does that money go? It goes into investing and in assets, and which is also the reason why people will always tell you, when you want to invest in luxury real estate, because that is where it continues to grow. And I think as interest rates go down, I also see a lot of that money flowing into markets such as Dubai, because it makes buying that asset a lot more attractive, because your rental yields are higher, your interest rates are going low, and the difference that you make, or the delta that you make, is much better.
I would like to add something to what he has just said. Whenever you are investing, obviously if you are investing for rental yield, right, where do you get a rental yield? What you get in Dubai? You don't get it in India. You are going to anyway get a higher rental yield, but then you also have to factor in that Indian rupee depreciates close to 5% every year. So if you get a rental yield of 7% plus 5%, you're looking at 12%, that too tax-free.
Cornelia, coming back to you, do you think Dubai as a market is headed in the right direction? Are we looking at more stability, more growth?
Okay, I think you meant Dubai going into direction of maturing.
Yeah, maturing as a market and continuing with the stability.
Definitely.
Yes.
So I would say Dubai is maturing overall as in law protection and protecting the investor, on building the lifestyle, on bringing people and families to have an experience close to their own country, okay, where they have extra things. In terms of numbers, as maturing, where we say, okay, maybe it stops growing and it's maturing, same like London today, Paris, US, New York, and so forth, where the actual ROI, it stops somewhere. I believe it's happening today in Dubai for mature areas, not as a city. So today we have mature areas like Palm Jumeirah, like downtown, that there are no plots available left to build. Of course, it has its own appreciation that it's gaining every single year. However, an emerging area today, for example, like Dubai Creek Harbor, of course, with the amenities that are going to come, by default is going to have a higher yield than even downtown. What have brought today and what increased the yields in Dubai are the amenities, the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world, the biggest mall. So same is going to happen in the other areas that today are emerging. Those are not mature, and the opportunity to enter early there is what we are today proposing to people. So if you missed an opportunity to buy in Palm Jumeirah, as Sagar said at the very beginning of event, we have options now similarly where you can enter at the very beginning. And yes, Palm Jumeirah today you buy at the mature market versus something that today is emerging and is going to be 2x, 3x, 4x, maybe 5x better than whatever it's being built. So Dubai is also good at learning from not mistakes, but learning from whatever they haven't provided there before. As an example, again, we take downtown. Today it's a mature area, it's a beautiful area. No tourist will leave Dubai without going in downtown and seeing Burj Khalifa and Dubai Mall, right? But there are no parks, there are no hospitals, there are no schools in the area. So now the same Amar who have actually built downtown is building this new area of Dubai Creek Harbor, bringing downtown there, but at the same time you'll have a marina, at the same time you'll have a man-made beach, at the same time you'll have schools, you'll have hospitals. So they are fixing these things that they've seen people need. And why is this transitioning? Is because we are not catering to tourists anymore, or only to the tourists. We are catering to residents and tourists at the same time. So just to end, Dubai is not just a market. Dubai is a currency of exchange today. So when you're investing in Dubai, it's far beyond today of the square meter and the returns that you're getting. You're actually buying safety, you're buying reputation, you're buying a seat at the table in one of the strongest and most stable today economic hubs in the world.
Thank you, Cornelia. That was pretty insightful. Prateek, last one, but not the least, of course. She obviously spoke of buying into so many of these, tangible and intangibles. But when it comes to breaking down what it means to buy into this economy, right? One of the things, the other big question that we hear is, how am I moving my money, right? Given the tax structures of a country like India. So SPVs, LRS, offshore holdings, could you give us a little more insight into that?
Yeah, so if we're talking primarily of India, India has two major options. One is the $250,000 that you can move through LRS, but there's a big chunk that you can move through corporates. And that is why when Sarthak mentioned about the corporate structures, 400% of your net worth can be moved legally, to UAE. And a lot of people use corporate structures to move their money because they secure at their holdings. A lot of people have family trusts across globe through which the money moves to UAE legally, no problems at all. And then there are use cases that you can use that money for particularly, which we can, talk at length. Anti-money laundering doesn't come into picture because this has come purely through legal ways. But there is something beautiful about this, whole country, and we call it sometimes a company, and the CEO is running as well, that a person who wants to move with a capital of, say, in rupee terms, 25 lakh rupees can move, and also with a person who, with a capital of 250 crores wants to move, can move very easily tomorrow. And to break down Akshay's question, what he asked in the last panel, a lot of people ask me how much is enough to come to Dubai. I said, money is the wrong question. First is intent, what sir mentioned. But second is, if you want to stay in a 100 dirham property, there are a lot of, hotel come apartments available. If you want to stay in 1,000 dirhams, which is roughly 25,000 a night, you can stay there. An average person with his wife and 2 kids will spend not more than 25 to 30,000 dirhams. This is the highest, which in INR terms is 6 to 7 lakhs per month, which anyway you spend here. And this includes schooling, a maid, a car, everything. So it's not that costly. That is why, I tell people, your limit is $250,000, roughly 2 crores. You can start on day one and then gradually build your portfolio over 3 years. Because this is the only country that allows exits also very easily. You want to close your company and move in, it doesn't take more than 15 days to close your company and move back. So take a risk. If you're a high risk player, please take it and go today. But if you're a calculative person, it starts somewhere from today, because I'm sure all of us know a land deal that you will talk today with these guys will not last tomorrow, because that's how the market is working. And it's not difficult to enter the market. It's very easily. You can take a flight 3 hours, from India, It doesn't take me, it takes me 3 hours from here to reach to Calcutta, right? But it takes 3 hours to reach even Dubai. So that's how easy it is to start your journey. And then, like these guys said, it's a portfolio that you need to build. You get 4% mortgage. You generally get, on your cars, generally 1% to 2% is your rate of interest on mortgage. So there are a lot of benefits and incentives that this government gives you. Because I have other side talking about, you spend on education, you spend on lifestyle. I say if I have to spend 30% of my taxes here in lifestyle, I would rather spend on lifestyle than on taxes. And then, worry about every 7th day doing some compliance. So VAT, very easy, quarterly, corporate tax once a year. It solves all your purposes. It gives you lifestyle, it gives you luxury, and it gives you peace, which is not worth any money that you will get. That's Dubai.
Just to add something what he said, you would have all noticed that since the comprehensive trade treaty has been signed, the numbers have changed. There's a lot more reciprocal investment going. So I would say that the credit for that goes to leadership of both the countries.
Thank you, sir. I mean, it's pretty clear for anyone looking at the UAE as a market that firstly, you need to have an intent. At least this is my takeout from everything that I've heard. And basis that intent, you need to put in a roadmap, talk to the right people, and make sure that there's a plan, whether it's about entry or exit. And of course, at the Majlis, not just today, but over the next 3 days, we do have a whole lot of our experts and teams available to you guys. So if you haven't logged in your one-on-ones, please do think about doing that, because you're just going to go back with a lot of information that's worth your time and your dime. And yeah, happy to throw the floor open to questions if anyone has some.
Thank you all again. My name is Atman Vora. I'm the founder of Avro. So my question is regarding investments. We talked about the ease of investments from UAE standpoint. The Indian government here is promoting a lot about Gift City. Is there any interesting instrument or vehicle where you can combine the two that usually is not aware to the general public that you can throw some light on?
So on the Gift City front, it is nothing but a reciproca of all your global financial jurisdictions, right? And what happens there is it's a dollar-to-dollar transaction. So sometimes what happens is there are a lot of cost that you can save. A lot of people have started already opening or setting up their corporate companies there to invest. Funds, family offices have already started planning. The reason is very simple. It's dollar to dollar. It's tax friendly because you're out, right? It's like a free zone of India. So there is no tax on whatever you do. But anything apart from that, if that money enters and hits India, it's the same compliances. Again, when you're in Gift City, no compliances, right? So these are small software aspects why Gift City is acting as a bridge, and India has done a tremendous job in bridging this gap. But, it's very easy. 24% payment, if I'm not wrong, Rajat. 24% payment on a 4 million dirham, which is roughly 9 crore. That's how you start from Gift City, if it is dollar. But apart from that, directly from. The only thing that is major is no compliances, and it's a dollar-to-dollar transaction.
Hi everyone, thank you for your perspective. My question is that assuming that I have a budget of $250,000, why should somebody invest in one property in Dubai and why not in 2 properties in Bali if my intent is to earn through rental yields?
Please feel free and invest wherever you like. So I think the reason I would say that is because the bigger question here is, I think you would understand from a lot of people like me, is everyone's reason for investing is different. As they mentioned, intent is first. Where I would want to invest in real estate is where I can see myself living in 10 years, even if the rental yield doesn't work out for me. But I know I'm a very safe investor. So I could very well, at some point in my financial journey, be very happy to also invest in Bali if I feel like during the winters I want to live in Bali also. So I think that would be, I would say it's a non-financial answer there.
What I would like to add here is, again, the safety matter, and not only in terms of me being able to go at 2 a.m. on the street if I have an emergency to take my kid to the hospital, that no one is going to approach me or anything, but economic safety. So today, if anything goes wrong around the world, and not that we are happy of what has happened in the past 7 years, 5 years now recently, okay, whatever happened around the globe, everybody came to Dubai. So it's not maybe necessarily good to say. However, God forbid something happens, I would like to believe that Dubai is the Switzerland of World War II, because it's not only one country that have invested there, and now we are not only talking about the gentlemen here, they haven't talked about properties. Yes, I am the chief of sales and this is what I do best for the past 15 years. But they have told you how companies are moving their headquarters there. Fortune 5 just purchased the land there and they are moving their quarter in Dubai. This is only one example that actually happened recently. So going back to safety, it's also economical. If anything goes wrong, you don't want to be anywhere else than Dubai. So you will get a visa where you can immediately come with the family. There was a question in the previous panel regarding, there was a lady asking, yes, if you actually rent a 2-bedroom apartment in Dubai minimum, you can sponsor your parents. That's the minimum requirement. So of course, if you bring your parents, maybe you have husband, you have kids, you will actually have a 2-bedroom apartment at least rented, and they will give the visa. So that's one of the reasons I would choose Dubai over Bali.
Still open for questions, guys. Anybody? Okay, amazing, guys. Thank you for patiently listening. Round of applause for all these brilliant people. I sincerely hope you're going to take back quite a bit with you today. And like I said, please do engage with the rest of the team across the floor. We're going to take a 15-minute break, but if you're not planning to leave, do stick around, come back. Educational, insightful, and riveting.
Insightful, great community, and wonderful energy.
Super, fantastic, mind-blowing.
Very well connected, visionary, and an amazing team. Honestly, an amazing team.
It's very informative.
Data-backed, well-researched, ahead of the curve.
It was well curated and very informative.
No, I think it's the right time to come to India, and right time, right place, and lots to go.